Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, journalists, welcome to the episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. This is my partner Anthony. This is a Judo podcast for Judo players by two Judo players. So, Anthony, how you been?
I'm just really tired of what were we doing? Oh yeah, I went out after Judo last night with a couple of guys and a girl from our dojo, and just drank a little too much, and then this morning we went to teach Judo class, and we were prepping for our 3 dojos inter dojo tournament tomorrow. Yeah, but other than that, what? Well,
which by the time this video comes out, it will be last week.
Last week, yeah. So, yeah, just prepping for it. As I said, like I'm trying something out regarding the equipment, and we might commentate. Well, you might commentate. I'm going to try and help out.
We can do it together. We can have the monitor right next to us for the timekeeper stuff. That's with you, and we'll maybe have Scott here to help us out.
Yeah, maybe I'll swap up with Philippe and have Philippe talk, and have like some beginners give their thoughts on as from a beginner's perspective, because that is the what I think would be interesting is like what beginners think when what they see that more experienced people don't see, because they see things differently. Yeah. So it's something interesting we're going to try to do. We're going to try it, see what happens, or you'll know what happens by the time this video comes out, most likely. Yep. We're also going to try and keep this episode short. We are going to talk about the Tashkent World Championships, but right after this, we're doing a live stream. Right after we record this, we're doing the live stream. Yeah, on Twitch. So I don't expect anyone to come watch, but we're just going to do it anyway. Watch.
Hopefully someone. Man, that thing is like ghosting like a mother right now. What is wrong with my?
It's like, ooh, Ghost of Judo past.
I know, seriously. Like someone's trying to haunt me. I think someone's trying to attack me. Why is this thing ghosting so much? This is crazy. It's going to bother me all day long. Okay, so without further ado,
I did have some housekeeping stuff. So last episode, we talked about the rules, right? The alternate rules, and we mentioned how the chokes are not allowed at 50 and over. Slight correction, it's 60 and over, not 50 and over. I thought it was 50 because I remember when we talked about it in the very beginning, we said, well, if you have a problem with the rules, just go compete at 50 and over instead of 60 and over. So that's how we got confused. But the rules are actually 60 and over. So no more chokes for Philippe. You hear that, Philippe? No, I know Philippe only listens to the beginning few minutes of our episode and then like skips ahead. So
gives us the first few minutes. Like, okay, I gave them some time. All right. All right. Was there anything else housekeeping that we forgot to talk about? I know there probably was something. I think it probably was, but yeah.
Yep. I think that was the main thing. Just that was a correction. Yep.
Okay. So with that, like we talked about in the last episode, this past week was the Judo World Championships in Uzbekistan, and I ain't good. Tashkent. How do you say the name of that city it was in?
Tashkent.
Okay. So with that, there were some interesting things that happened, and there's some interesting things that did happen that was actually pretty good because Anthony did do it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the NFT. So Anthony did bite the bullet and he bought the NFT.
I bought it at a very interesting time. Like I bought it before it.
The perfect time. So explain the NFT situation that happened.
Yeah, if you listen to the previous episode, I said I was going to bite the bullet and buy the NFT just to figure out what it is. And long story short, I'm not going to make this an NFT episode, but long story short, I bought the NFT, and coming as a software engineer who owns some cryptos, I had no freaking idea how do you say it? Transfer the cryptocurrency to my wallet. So very short rundown. Usually when you go on an exchange, like think of it like a stock market where you exchange cash, like US, in my case, US dollars or euros to crypto. They'll credit you the cryptocurrency onto their account, like on the website. So it says like, hey, you have like one, let's say Bitcoin now, right? But the Bitcoin is stored in their wallet. So when you read the news online, like the big news is saying, oh, big crypto exchange got hacked, $1 million were stolen. Like it's because people stored their money in the online wallet. It would be like, let's say the bank ran off with your money because you don't technically have the money. The bank's holding the money for you, right? So it's I don't trust the crypto exchanges. So you shouldn't either. So what you should do is after you buy the cryptocurrencies, you should create an offline wallet, which is what they call a cold wallet or a paper wallet, and then you transfer it to the wallet. So nobody else except for you has access to the wallet unless obviously you lose the key. So in my house somewhere or in a safety deposit box, I have a piece of paper with the private key for my wallet stored there. So I tried to transfer the wallet.
So
the
you're going to
currency.
Anthony's house. No.
So I tried to transfer the one Judo coin. They actually coined their own currency. I'm not going to go into the details because it gets more complicated. I'm trying to simplify it, but I'm trying to transfer the one Judo coin to my wallet. And let's just say they did not write down the very good instructions about the whole process. And even if they wrote down instructions, I personally needed the more technical documentation to know what they were doing. There's basically, let's just say a wallet in a parallel universe that had the same wallet address as mine. And that caused a whole bunch of confusion. And I did join the Discord. I mentioned that on the previous episodes. So I posted in a Discord. I'm like, hey, did anyone else's like stuff just like disappear or something like that? So I got some help from the crypto guy. I just say on the Discord, and it took me around.
That sounds very legit. You know, the crypto guy. Yeah, I got some help from the crypto guy. You know,
he's clearly technical, right? So he made it sound like it's super easy. I just don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, man, I own Ethereum. I own some other coins. I know I'm a software engineer. I know, and he basically did the equivalent of have you tried restarting a computer kind of stuff with me. So after like 4 hours, I got it working. I found out where my Judo coin was, and I was able to redeem my NFT token for my what do you call it? My NFT token for my Judo path. Whatever, that's Judo TV, IJF TV, Judo, whatever they call it now. That's the other thing. It's so confusing.
The Judoverse.
The Judoverse, I think, is different from their Judo TV, which is different from their the IJF live.IJF, whatever they call it. And that's the problem because shortly after they put up I guess we should go in sequence, right?
No, so it's okay. So so you got your coin. You tried to put it into your wallet. You tried to put it in your wallet.
Yep.
What did you get? Now here's one thing for me also. Anthony only got one picture where I
got one picture.
I thought the way they put it in the last video they posted up, if you bought a pack, they were saying like bottom pack, you're supposed to get 5, I thought. So I don't know how Anthony got one.
That's not how I understood. I only got one.
Okay.
And here's a joke, right? I got a lion and a blue gi. So I jokingly sent that around like, now you guys got to call me Blue Lion on the mats. You got to call me Blue Lion. And I'm like, if you want they actually send you to, there's a site called OpenSea. That's where you buy the NFT artworks and stuff. So people can make offers to me to buy that Blue Lion picture from me. Yeah. So I'm like, here's the link. If you guys want to be called Blue Lion, take the right of being called Blue Lions at the dojo for me, then you have to offer me $1 million. So I was joking.
$1 million for this ugly ass basic like sixth grader drew a lion in a blue judo gi with a sankaku in the corner. Oh my god!
So funny enough that Yoko Sankaku Gatame, the triangle hold that like Dari Below does, that's one of my favorite turnovers. So it's funny that I got that one. But so I got the picture, then I got a code. I couldn't figure out how to do the code to redeem it, but like I said, 4 hours later, I was able to redeem it. And the guy was like, because at the time when I got this picture, the live stream, they were no longer streaming the tournament on YouTube anymore, but they were streaming it on live.ijf.org.
So that's another thing to talk about right there. We get into the thing. So
I don't want to talk about NFTs anymore, basically.
Yeah. So Anthony got the NFT. He owns this NFT now. So you got all the perks of the NFT. One of the perks of the NFT is that when you buy his NFTs, I'm saying a lot of NFT here. Yeah. When you buy this freaking NFT, you get Judoverse, which is IJF's little judo channel and all the things that come with it for 1 year.
You can also, yes, for 1 year. And you can also request for a ticket for in-person tournaments. And I tried to click it, but it said like it was too late already. I had to request it like 60 days in advance before the event or something like that, or 6 days. I don't remember what it was. So, yeah, I mean, if you,
so he gets all the stuff in the NFT packet, you know?
Yeah, if you're the kind of guy who goes fly around and travels to watch all these tournaments, like for $57 getting 1 year of subscription to watch all the tournaments and being able to get a request for a free ticket for all the events in the world tour, I think that's a pretty good deal. But I don't see them. I see them doing it the first couple of years just to get people to buy into it, and then I don't see them doing it again. So. Okay. That's what I think.
So now we're gonna come back to the NFT in a little bit, but okay. So the IJF here in the US, we don't have a channel, or it's not live streamed or shown live on a channel here in the US. It's not on ESPN or ESPN2 or ESPN Quattro or whatever ESPN would be out there, or Fox, whatever it's going to be. So we watch it on YouTube. Okay. It's usually live streamed on YouTube, no problem. And they'll be there the next day also, in case it's like a late night tournament for us in the US. We watch it next day.
Which is what it was. This case, it was late night.
Yeah. For us,
I watched it from like 10 PM to like 3 AM or something. That's what I was watching.
Yeah. So for me, I was like, oh, I was watching it the next day. And it was funny because Sensei Fleet brought it up that you can watch it on YouTube or watch it on the IGF's video channel or video streaming service. I just built it. They're trying to push more, whatever it's going to be. So the next day I go on there and was like, where's the videos at? Why is there no videos? I tournament stuff from the last tournament. Where's this tournament at? Where's it at? So I'm just waiting. Halfway through the day, I'm just like, I'm just going to go on the IGF channel. I go to the IJF channel, which was a really hassle for me to try to find out where the videos were also. Like, I swear I clicked on the same button like 3 different times, and then it finally worked to put the right thing. So what happened is that because the IJF is pushing their streaming service now, which I believe is a worldwide streaming service, they're not going to put them no longer on YouTube for now. I don't know if they're going to put it in like a week later or 2 weeks later.
They didn't say that, but yeah. Well, at least as far as I know, they didn't say that. But
yeah. But there's some theories happening. Yeah. Well, we're going to come out with some things. So this is going to get very interesting. And we're going to get to the World Championships in a little while, but we have to go through this hoops we had to jump to get to watch stuff. And people like me that are cheap bastards, I didn't get to watch it super live. So I go on there, I make an account because you had to make a login to and make an account. And I know Anthony made an account also because he already had the NFT stuff already.
Yeah. Well, I had the account a long time ago when they made the live.ijf.org thing. They made it like last year. So they were testing it since last year. People just don't know it because they were watching on YouTube. So
yeah, it's just easier to watch on YouTube. Yeah. But the IJF one, you had to make an account, log in, all that stuff. And for me, when I would log into it, I'll click on the videos. I know Anthony was saying that on his PC, it was like simple, easy, streamlined. He liked it a lot. Me, I'm watching this at work on my phone. I'll try to watch one video or one mat, and so like 3 windows start popping up, and they're all playing like at slightly different times. So I'm hearing Neil Adams and them talking over each other like 1 second. It's like, God, pause this one, close this one, pause that one.
So, how to say this? I was watching it on after you told me that, I was watching it on my PC again, and then I wanted to go take a bath because I was sore from training. So I took a bath and I loaded it on my phone. And 2 things I noticed: you cannot watch streams simultaneously. So if I turn it on my phone, my PC tab like stops playing. It says like, you just loaded this in another device, so please like shut off the other device. So you can only play one stream at one device at a time. Number 2 was, like you said, on the phone, I started encountering a bunch of issues and everything. So as a software engineer, I did some reverse engineering and I did some research, and they hired a company that builds makes it easy to build apps for them, to build this phone app, the IJF phone app. And the app basically takes this company's framework and encapsulates what we call like a wrapper, basically encapsulates the website. And if you do it lazy like that, it's bound to be buggy on the cell phone. or on the desktop, whichever one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get it to cut costs, but it's bound to be buggy, and it's still usable. It's just going to have all the issues like we encountered where we heard multiple things going on and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, the app wasn't that bad on the phone, but could be better. But I know it's a significant amount of cost to hire someone to build a custom app for your company. So the fact that they took this, I'm surprised it works that well because usually when you do a wrapper around the web app, it usually runs like terrible. It's not usable. But in this case, it was at least usable. Yep.
Yeah, it was at least somewhat usable. Once you figured out what was going on, you're like, okay, I got to close this window.
I got to avoid doing these things.
Video. I got to pause. Yeah, I got to pause. Like I said, for me, like just to watch a video, I had to click like this. I swear the same thing. I had to click like 3 times till it finally opened correctly for me. But okay, so the first day, stream the first day, no problem. Like, well, with little bugs. Mm-hmm. Second day, a little bit more buggy for me, but it still worked. I can still watch all the matches I want to watch, the main event stuff, the medal matches, which is my big thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Anthony likes watching everything. The third day comes. It's not working for me. It's not working. And I text Anthony, hey, Anthony, what's going on here? And he's like, apparently they put it behind a paywall. Oh, what? A paywall. And I'm like, I know what that means. I'm not like a Juan stupid. I know what it means. Like, you get the first 2 days free, and the rest of the tournament you got to pay for.
From my point of view, I already bought the NFT, right? So when I bought the NFT, I was having trouble activating it, like I said earlier, but I was still able to watch it. Mm-hmm. But so when I went on a Discord and figured it out, the guy was like, why do you want to activate it now? Like he was basically saying, why you activate it now? You can watch it just fine. I'm like, well, I bought this thing. I want to activate it because I didn't tell him I was trying to figure out how to do it for content for my podcast. Right. So, I was like, I want to activate it. He was like, well, if you want to activate it, here's the video. And he sent me this video that was like clearly just thrown together. Like literally like maybe like 30, like just then. Right. And
he's making it as he's talking to you.
Yeah. So he uploaded this video on Discord. It's not on a website or anything. So if you've got, I'm not going to go in detail, but if you know what I'm talking about, you can see how like you can tell it's just made. So I did it, and then he messaged me. He was like, can you post on the Discord that you figured out how to do it? And it was easy. Like he wanted other people to see that. I was like, oh yeah, I figured it out.
See, that's another funny thing, because in the videos that they've been posting on the IJF channel and stuff, and when they post it on YouTube, they're really selling this towards children. It seems like a lot of people like these are for kids and stuff, or mix and match, just like baseball cards or Pokemon cards. So it seems like they're selling it to me like to children. And you're a grown ass man that's a computer engineer, and you're having trouble with this. I can't imagine if you're a kid that wants this and doesn't know computers, or you got a parent, a mom and dad that don't know how to use computers at all, and they buy this. It's just wasted money almost. It's just like they took your money. It's like, oh, whatever. Who cares?
I mentioned the wallet about parallel universe kind of thing. So I almost thought I accidentally sent my thing to the wrong wallet and it's gone. But apparently not. But that it could happen to someone who doesn't know what they're doing with crypto and sends it to somewhere else by accident. But what after that? So this is after he told me, why do you want to activate it? Right? Because you can see it right now. The next day, that was when they put the paywall up. And from my point of view, I can't tell there's a paywall because I already redeemed it. So I can still watch my stuff. But on Reddit, it blew up and everyone's like, there's a freaking paywall now. Everyone's like upset and saying, I would never pay for this. Like, and I'm not going to go in like what people said and whether it's right or not, but, and then people started questioning on Discord too. And they said they're like, okay, I don't mind paying, but this is a lot of money. And I'm confused now. Like, is this the Judoverse or is this the Judo TV? And then is this IJF? Like, why was it showing me ads before then? Like, why am I getting out of paying this? I was watching it fine before. And the guy was trying to explain all this stuff. And obviously he's like, well, you're getting a better experience and there's no ads. He's like, and they're like, I didn't have ads before. And then I'm like, I actually got an ad one time and it jump scared me. Like it was just, it like filled up the whole screen. It filled up the whole screen, started playing something. I was like, holy crap. Like, so I only got one ad one time. Basically it was the implementation was a mess. Like my personal feeling is that The app itself is not that bad. The pricing, we're not going to debate about the pricing, right? Like that's a different topic. Like everyone has their own thing, but the app itself is not that bad, but the implementation and communication was terrible. There was, like we said, the roadmap didn't say jack shit. There was nothing saying about like, hey, you're going to be able to watch the first 2 days free, or hey, we're going to put a paywall up on the third day, or because from the Discord topic, the guy made it sound like this whole tournament you can still watch it, and especially with his conversation with me when he was like, why do you want to redeem it right now, it still works. It made it sound like this is in the future, like we're going to start putting a paywall up in the future, but all of a sudden it put a paywall up, no communication at all, and I didn't know there was ads. They could have said like, hey, if you're going to do the free thing, there's ads, but if you pay this thing, there's no ads. Like, I honestly do not know what the hell is going on. I'm trying to explain it, and even then, what the guy was telling me doesn't add up. So he probably doesn't know either. So the CEO, to me in my head, the CEO or the people up there one day was probably like, hey, let's just put a paywall up. That's what it seems like.
It works for Netflix. It works for Peacock. It works for those things. Yeah, let's do it. See, but here's the thing to me. You keep talking about these ads. I didn't see an ad when I
saw one. Out of like the first 3 days, I only saw one ad.
Okay. So here's the thing to me. Now this is going to go back to me being a wrestling guy. Like I love pro wrestling. So when WWE went to the Peacock channel to show their premium live events, their pay-per-views, people were noticing that if you still had the old system, the old WWE network outside of the country, there's these weird long breaks where they show commercials or highlights or like interviews and stuff. And so they pieced it all together like, oh, so in America, because of Peacock, like in America, there's the free version of Peacock, which is very limited stuff. There's Peacock with ads, which I believe is like $5 or $6 a month. And then there's Peacock without ads, which is $10 a month. So if you got the Peacock with ads, that's where the ads are, where these long breaks are in between the show. Yep. And people tell me, because I don't pay for them.
In Judo, you don't know when the breaks are. So.
That's the thing. You don't know when the breaks are. Whether they put like a commercial right in the middle of a match or something, like, oh, well, we schedule it for right here, and the girl's in the middle of an armbar, or guy's in the middle of a throw or something, or something's happening, just like, boom, do you need car insurance? It's just one of those things out of nowhere. So like, how are they going to be like, oh, okay, they're breaking the match right now. Let's part an ad real quick.
Well, do it like UFC does. They can do it like how UFC does it, So
in between the fights and stuff. Yeah. That's what I would hope that's what they were going to do.
Yeah.
Now, when you got the ad, where was it?
It was just a pop-up.
Oh, it was just a pop-up. Okay.
It literally filled up my entire screen. Like, so because I maximized the screen to watch the tournament, right? And it just like popped out and I was like, holy crap. Like, but my main
oh shit, virus protection.
One thing that I noticed that is usually in world championships, there's 3 mats going on at a time, right? But there's only two mats going this time, and the tournament's 7 days instead of the usual 5 days. And
yeah.
So I don't know why they're only doing 2 mats for the world championship. Some people said it's to drag it out so they have more time for commercials, or like you said, or just
I can see
whatever. Yeah, but also I think it's to make it easier to watch it through the live stream because there's only 2 matches going on at a time. Because I remember Hashimoto and Maruyama were all both going at the same time on different mats. I'm like, how the hell am I going to watch this? Because
I remember you told me.
Because the app only lets you have one tab open. Back when YouTube, each mat has its own YouTube video, right? So you can open up multiple windows on a big monitor and watch all of them. But this one, like I said, I can't even open 2 tabs or watch it on my phone because it only allows one stream playing at a time. So I would have to constantly switch between mat 1, mat 2, mat 1, mat 2 to see like, oh, they're just grip fighting. It's Shido. Okay, let me swap back. Oh, okay, he's on the floor. Let me swap back. Like, and sometimes I miss like some good attempts at a throw. So, and some people told me like when I mentioned this to, who did I mention this to? I don't remember who I mentioned to. They're like, just watch the replay. I'm like, it's different because 1, there's no commentary, right? If you watch the replay of the whole tournament, like of the whole commentary tournament, then yes, but then 1, you have to find the time where in the timeline where the matches were. And but you can watch the match replay. This is one thing I liked about a whole live.ijf.org is it lists out all the matches. You know who's coming up next. You can vote on who you think is going to win. You can follow an athlete, so it'll send you an alert little thing when they're up. And what else? Yeah, basically, this website is really nice. Like, it's actually really nice. The website is pretty well done. But where was I getting at this? I got on a tangent.
Shitting on it. Okay, we're not fully shitting on it. Anthony likes the way it's built and stuff. I just don't like the paywall.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you click on the athlete, like let's say I missed the match, I click on the athlete, I can look at all the matches that has happened before. So I can go to the bracket and look at each match that happened on each round and then click the play and it'll replay the match. My problem with this is obviously there's no commentary, which is not important to me because I don't like the commentary that much anyway. But second of all is there is no scoreboard on the screen. On the bottom of the screen. So you don't know how many Shido you have to wait till the camera pans over to the back so you can see the scoreboard in the back and you're like, okay, I think this is 2 Shido. Can you move, ref? Like, so that was the major problem. And even if you see it, when you fast forward, like let's say you're fast forwarding because it tells you when the Wazari happened, when the Shidos happened, that kind of stuff. When you fast forward, you can't see the scoreboard, which is super annoying. That's my main critique about it. What's really nice is they offer a front and a rear angle. I don't know if you saw that, Juan. They offer a front. Yeah, there's a little drop box where it says front and rear. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a story about how Daria Belodid lost. She got scored by a Wazari that wasn't a Wazari. And I showed 2 different angles. And it was from that option of having, because honestly, I was like, okay, that's totally not a Wazari from this angle. But maybe from the ref side, it was a Wazari. So, but luckily I had that option. I dropped down and played it from the different angle. I'm like, that's totally not a Wazari. They're freaking blind. Like, so that's a nice option to have, like the different angle.
All right, so you might be asking, okay, so they have this new Judoverse, they have the what the hell is that called? The NFT.
They're not calling it Judo. The guy wasn't calling it Judoverse, so he called it like Judo TV.
Okay, so they have Judo TV / Judoverse. They have the NFT stuff, and we're talking about this paywall. What does this stuff cost? All right, so for what it came up, the NFT that you bought, they were advertised, I believe, as $55. You said you got it for how much? Or no, not $55. It was 55 euros. Okay, everything's done in euros.
No, it was 60 something euros. It ended up being 50.
60 something euros.
It ended up being $55. I looked at my credit card statement.
Okay, so it was 60 euros to get this NFT, which is $56, you said, to get this 1-year membership. All right. What they're advertising on the IJF channel was that if you want to buy access to each tournament, it would be 20 euros, right? Was it 20 euros or $20?
20 or 25, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Euros. Okay. So you got to do the math about how much of that in America. So I was doing some basic math. I was thinking it was $20. So in euros to American dollars, it's slightly cheaper for us because we're a little stronger here. It was $19.44. All right. So $19.44 per tournament. All right. That's almost like buying a pay-per-view nowadays. Not more. It's a little more than pay-per-view nowadays, but it's kind of like buying a pay-per-view every month or every few months and stuff like that for an old fight. The other thing they're advertising is to get access to the Judo TV, Judoverse. They're having 1-year membership. And that's what our instructor Philippe bought. He was like really excited about it. 1-year membership for 100 euros.
And he didn't get a blue lion.
What? What do you mean? No. Oh, the blue line. I said blue line. I was like, what line? There's a line somewhere?
He didn't get the blue line. All he got was basically the subscription for the year to watch Judo. That's basically what we got for $100. And to transfer that into American dollars, that would be $97.21. Okay. Now I was doing this because different countries have different pay things and stuff. And it in the US, Great Britain, it's a good deal. Okay. I'm assuming Canada also, because they're pretty strong. It's just like the US, they're pretty strong. But I was doing it like so 100 euros in yen would be 14,464 yen. Okay.
And I was just going out there, just odd, just thinking like what certain countries it would be. And there was a couple countries where it's already in the thousands of what it was. Like it was in what was it? In Russian rubles, it was like 6,000 rubles to buy it. In Australia, it would be $156, well, whatever the Australian dollar is, and 85 cents. And I was like, well, because I was trying to figure out like what these different countries, how much it costs us. And I was like, okay, well, what about in an African country? Well, one of the most popular ones would be like South Africa, I think. Even in South Africa, 100 euros would come out to 1,000. Okay, at least 1,000 of their South, what do they call their? What I wrote, I didn't write it down. I just wrote South African dollars, but it's already 1,700. And just think of that cost. Like we may think in America, like, oh well, compared to the euro to us, it's actually not that bad. We got to think of other countries that don't make the same amount of money as us, especially if you think about like what's the average monthly income.
I was gonna say, like, I think some people on Reddit mentioned how for many people in Brazil, like 25 euros is like what they make in a month. So I put it on my credit card and I pay off this tournament in 2 months or 3 months. Yeah. So if you talk about video games or even pay-per-view like UFC and stuff, they have they region lock stuff. So each region they charge different prices, but they don't. Obviously, it takes money to implement the technology to be able to do this kind of thing. But for them, just charging a flat fee across the world, it's just you're excluding a lot of people from being able to watch this. So
yeah, and I get it. The euro, it's used in Europe. A lot of countries in Europe use it, but you got to transfer that euro to now the Canadian dollar, the American dollar, the Mexican peso. Did I look at the Mexican peso? Yeah, it was 1,951 pesos. All right. That's crazy. All right. It's like, do I love judo that much? And I'm someone that loves judo and I'm not even going to pay $100. Okay. I'm not even going to buy an NFT. What I'm going to do is I'm going to patch stuff together, but I have to watching the highlights on YouTube and Instagram, watch, that'll be the next thing they're going to go after.
Yep.
But so to me, it's not fair charging this. And even it's not fair because, okay, for you got this 1 year membership for $56. You got your blue tie.
It took me 4 hours to figure out how to do it, though.
Could you imagine, like Sensei Philippe having to deal all of this? Sensei Philippe ain't going to deal all this. Sensei Philippe's going to call you to deal with all this.
That's funny because I was just telling you today how yesterday we electronicized our membership database, right, for our dojo. So we use our phones to take attendance. And then I was signing someone up. I came out and I was starting to take attendance for the adults advanced class. And Philippe's like, oh, I already took attendance already. I'm like, oh, I'm surprised you know how to do it. And then he was like, oh, I just took a picture of everyone and sent it to Juan. And I was like, that's not taking the attendance.
Yeah. If I'm at work and I get a text from him at like 7:30 or something, I'm like, oh, there's attendance. Okay, I'll do it later. Yeah, if he hears this, he might yell at us, but hey, it's the truth. All right, so that was just to get to watch the World Championships. Anthony got to watch all of it in its full glory. I had to patch it together because I'm a cheap Mexican and I ain't gonna pay no $20 or $100 for 1 year membership. All right, I might. I don't know. And this is one thing we're talking about earlier because we're joking about it. I want to see how this actually goes because so on the third day when they put this paywall up by noon, this is noon American time. So I guess, so it's already, the tournament's already happened. I'm guessing not enough people signed up or joined as that they thought it was gonna be like this landslide, just people joining because they want to see the tournament. Because you sent me this thing about it and I sent you the same exact thing. On their Instagram by like noon or something, or when time I woke up, because I had a night call that night. Whatever time I woke up today.
Everyone on Reddit and Discord were unhappy. Let's just say that. And Instagram too. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess the third day didn't sell as what they thought it was. They put up a coupon code to get 25% off. You use this code, you get 25% off. And was that for the year membership or is it for just the
I think it's for everything. I don't remember.
All right.
Still a lot of money. Still a lot of money, I think, for a lot of people.
But that's just, to me, shows that maybe didn't sell as well as they wanted. It's like, oh, we're expecting 1 million people instead we got 500,000 or something.
Yeah, I mean, previously, if you're gonna something that was previously free for a long time, and now you're starting charging someone so much money for it, it's going to piss off a lot of people. Let's just say that. And obviously people who are happy with the change aren't going to take the effort to type in, oh, I love paying for this thing. It's so awesome. It's going to be the people who are angry are going to be the one typing out all the comments and stuff saying that. That's just how it is. Just same thing with Yelp reviews, right? When you go on Yelp or whatever food review site your country has, you see a restaurant with all the negative reviews. That's because people are angry enough to put in a negative review.
Mad, I'm gonna leave a review.
And not many people are gonna put in. Like, think about when was the last time you wrote a positive review for a restaurant you liked going to? No. But then when you're angry,
I did the other day.
But when you're angry, you're like, oh man, I hate those guys. I'm gonna write something nasty on Yelp and stuff. So that's I mean, our dojo is kind of like that too. There's that one guy, and then but none of our students wrote a Yelp review, the happy ones. So
none of our students that love us have, you lazy bums.
Yeah. So but that's how
like
I see
said,
about the comments.
I want to wait. Yeah, so that's about the comments. I want to wait and see if, like I said earlier, are they going to post it on YouTube later? Are they going to like wait a week or 2 weeks? Or
no,
a month
the replays are all on the live.ijf.org.
So not at all. They're not going to post on YouTube.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to backtrack from this. And some of the, let's just say, conspiracy theories I've heard was people are saying that the viewerships are dropping, which I don't believe. Personally, I don't believe. But they said the viewerships and participation numbers are dropping, so they're not as judo is not as desirable for advertisers. So they're finding out different ways to make money, which is why they did this. But yeah, let's not talk about it too much because we still have to talk about the thing, and we had the live stream. And I just go ahead. I have two more things. You have one more thing, and I have two more things. Go. Yeah.
All right. One more thing is that you told me that since this happened, that Judo Canada was going to do the same thing.
That was the one thing. That was the one thing I wanted. One of the two things I was going to say.
Yeah. So Anthony, take it away.
Yeah. So on Reddit, someone posted Judo Canada is going to start charging to view, just like the IJF, to watch their national tournaments, which, I mean, I know judo's pretty good at judo right now. Canada's pretty good at judo right now, but I don't know how many people watch it. I mean, most people I know that compete and do judo don't watch judo. So who is it that's going to be watching it? I mean, I'm not going to pay for it. It would be like me paying to watch USA Nationals. I would never do that. I mean, after this year, when my thing's up, unless they decrease the price significantly, I'm not going to pay $100 a year to watch judo, especially not with a kind of production quality, and not just production quality. I'll get into it as we talk in the tournament, but the refereeing. Like, I watch 1 or 2 days, and the refereeing is so bad that I don't want to watch it anymore because it's like face palming the whole time. But I'll get into that later. The next thing, dude, is that all you want to say about Judo Canada?
No, just that one. Just that little interesting.
So the other thing I wanted to say was we have a French member in our dojo, and he says that he uses a VPN to connect to a network, his home TV network in France, and he's able to watch it for free. So I'm sure the IJF is still licensing the streaming rights out to certain countries, just like before. Certain TV channels. I know Japan was. I watched some. I have a method to watch Japanese TV, and they were streaming it and covering it, and their production quality is awesome. I wish I could pay to watch the Japanese cover it. Production quality is awesome. Commentary is awesome. I'd pay $100 to watch a Japanese commentary for every tournament. Obviously, they're not going to stream every tournament. The Japanese, they only cover the Olympics and all Japans and all that kind of stuff. But so if you have a way of watching some country that streams it, I would prefer to do that over the IGF. That's just me. So that was the other thing I wanted to mention.
Yep. All right. So that was trying to watch the IGF. This is just trying to watch the tournament. The US, I keep wanting to say the US National now, the World Championships. So now let's get to the actual World Championships. Okay. So 2022 World Championships held in Uzbekistan. I'm not going to say a name again because I can't
Tashkent.
say it. Okay. So overall, Japan took first place, taking 13 medals. Okay. They took 6 gold, 4 silver, and 3 bronze. All right. In second place, it kind of surprised me when I actually looked at the numbers. What surprised me is that Brazil took second place with 4 medals.
Oh,
We go from 13 medals to 4 medals. So Brazil took 4 medals, 2 gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. Now the IGF put it that Uzbekistan took third place with 2 medals because they took 2 gold. But in my opinion, the person that took fourth place, France, which I thought did better for some reason, because they seem like they're out there more, taking 5 medals, was France with 1 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze. So those are the top 3 are not surprised. Well, to me, Japan, Brazil, and France getting the most medals does not surprise me. They did very well. They always do really well. And there's some interesting stuff when you're going to see, like when we get to, let's just talk about right now, I guess. So this year in the World Championships, they're doing the team tournaments regularly now. Okay.
Yep.
So
as part of the Olympics thing, it was pretty popular actually.
Yeah. Do you mind if I talk about this first, Anthony, or do you want to talk that last?
No,
okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So what they did,
before you start, if you go on the IJF site, the mixed team tournament is actually its own event now. It's not considered part of the senior world championship. It's like senior mixed team world championship. So because you're saying, do you want me to talk about this first or last? So it's considered a separate event. So
is it? Okay. So it's like another
on the site at least, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like its own 1-day tournament, which is interesting. So as most people know, last year at the Olympics and in the finals, it was Japan versus France for gold. And everyone expected Japan to get the gold because they're in Japan. Well, as most of us know, they lost. They took silver. And a lot of Japanese that were part of that team right there were very upset. They're like, I took a gold. I took that. You can see some of their photos also. Some are like really pissed off and looking angry and stuff. But the French team are like super happy. They're like, yes, we took gold on the last day. We took gold. Yeah. And they ran back home. They ran back home after that. So it was a rematch of the finals from the Olympics. And it was Japan versus France. So in the end, the score was 4-2. Japan got 4 wins. France got 2 wins. Japan won. So Japan, they got their honor back by winning at the World Championships this year, which is interesting because a lot of the team. So I thought they had to build their team from the 2 people they sent from each weight class. But apparently there were some fighters that were there just for the team event. There were some that fought their own events and got gold. Like there's some fighters that got double gold because they got gold in their event and they got gold at the team tournament. But there's some people that are there that didn't fight at all, which I was very surprised about and didn't know they could do that.
Yeah. What the team tournament I think is interesting because that's the one tournament where you see people from 2 adjacent weight classes can actually fight each other. So if you ever won one, let's just say, for example, Daria Below when she was in -48, she could have fought 52, someone from 52. So that's why it's interesting because you see these kind of matches happen.
And if you're wondering who got bronze in both divisions, so the first bronze medal match, or the one I'm going to talk about first, was Germany versus China. Germany won that match. It was 4-1. China also had I don't know if you want to call it the easy bracket because their first match was against the IJF refugee team. So they beat the IJF refugee team.
One of the guys on the IJF referee team is actually from Iran too.
Yeah.
So don't always discount them just because they're a refugee status.
I ain't discounting them. I'm not saying they're a mixed match team. All right. I'm just saying that some people say that they're the easy, that they're the gimme bracket. So China, just off the top of my head, because I didn't write this down because that was very interesting. They won, lost, won, and then they lost. So that's how it happened, that one. The match after that for the other bronze medal was Israel versus the Netherlands. Israel won 4-2 also. And it's interesting. I guess I'm going to talk about it. I guess, should I wait till we get to women's heavyweight division?
We can't go at that pace. If we're going to make it to the stream, we have to, go fast.
All right, I'm going fast. Now, I'll talk about it later in the women's heavyweight division. Okay, so that was a team tournament. Okay, so that was a team tournament. So day one, Anthony paid for the money for the stream, so he got to watch. So he got to watch everything. I didn't. So Anthony, take it away.
So overall, I think the first 2 days were the best days in terms of reffing the referees and the level of judo I saw. I was surprised. I'm like, man, these new rules and the referees are really on point. And obviously, day 3 onwards, in my opinion, the refereeing just went downhill. But overall, I think the Japanese players were. Remember a few episodes ago we talked about the changing of the guard. We're seeing a lot of people, especially Japanese players that we've never heard of. A lot of people haven't heard of, if you don't follow judo, started competing here, which made me question, like, hey, this guy got like second place at Kodokan Cup, or won second place at All Japan, or won their weight category or whatever in Japan, but they don't have that much international experience. And here they go, just bam, send in the world championship, So I thought that was kind of interesting. And in some of them, you can see the lack of experience. Like, I think there was 2 Japanese guys, and I think it was guys as in a guy and a girl, I think, that lost due to Shidos because of grip fighting rules. Like, I think one of them did a 2-hand grip break and it let go. So you can't do that. And it's sloppy. You can't, and world championships, can you imagine losing to grip fighting Shidos? Like, it's just really sloppy overall. I saw a lot of grip fighting happening with the Japanese. So again, that's my opinion. So there was a leg grab that happened. There's another one. I'm just reading off my notes here. Okay. So one fight I really think people should watch is Nagase versus Grigishvili. That was a great fight. I'm not going to spoil it for people. Just some things I want you guys to look up if you haven't watched it yet. Natsumi Tsunoda from Japan. That was, you have to watch all her fights. She was just like tomoe-nageing everyone. And then if you can't, if
you
she's
might
not
call it tomoe-nage, I'm gonna call it something else. I'm gonna call it crotch-nage. All right.
She was tomoe-nageing everyone. If you don't go over, because her legs are so long from her height in that weight class, because remember, she used to fight in 52 and then she moved down to 48. So she's really tall, just like Dari Below did for the weight class. So if you don't go over, you're already really high up in the air or tiptoeing, and then she just flips you over to the side, and then she goes into her arm bar or udegarami or that kind of stuff. So her nawaza is really good too. So it was a treat to watch that. So make sure you guys watch that. Got to talk about Hifumi Abe and Maruyama. Maruyama had an amazing freaking run.
All right, so let's Anthony, you got to be more.
Sorry.
You got to be more. Okay, so day one in the gold medal match. Okay, It was Sonoda from Japan versus men's from Germany. Okay, Sonoda. This is her second world championship. She was defending world champion. Well, not defending because she went down a weight class.
Yeah.
Technically, she was defending, but not defending. She's out that gold patch. But this is her second world championships. And again, we're saying that she's amazing newaza. She was doing this really great tomoe-nage. And this match, she did it, got to newaza, got to Yokusho Gatame, and got the pin for the win. That was the men's division at 48 kilos. The women's division at 48 kilos. Next was the men's division at 60 kilos. And again, it was a Japanese player in the finals again. So it was Kata, I can never say that guy's name right. Katato from Japan versus Takato versus the Mongolian guy. I didn't even try to attempt this guy's name. I'm terrible at these Mongolian names. But this Mongolian dude out of nowhere got all the way to the finals. Like, no one knew who this dude was. I don't know if he was on a junior team or something. There was
a lot of new Mongolians in this tournament that I've never heard of that were doing really well. Yeah.
He had the tournament of his life. Well, not tournament of his life. He's probably going to do better and stuff because now he's now on the scene and stuff. But out of nowhere, gets to the finals, takes silver. So Takato throws him with his really far kochigari that he was doing all day long. So he has like this long length kochigari, got a wazari. They fight some more, got a second kochigari. This time got a little deeper into it, got the full ippon. And that was day 2. But this is now his, his 4th world championship. 4th. And he put it to 4 afterwards. I don't know if he was doing the 4 horsemen or something, but he was doing the 4 for the 4 world champions he got now.
I'm personally not a Takato fan. but yeah, he can't deny that. Yep. Yeah. So was that it?
So that was day one. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So day two was 52 kilos, and that was wins 52 kilos. And in the finals was Ute Abe. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she won. All right. What she fought was this girl from Great Britain, Gallus. What's her name?
It was Giles, Chelsea Giles.
Giles.
I remember I told you I saw her fight at the World Championships in Tokyo in 2019, and her mom or something was sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Like, Chelsea. So whenever people say Chelsea Giles, I just hear her mom screaming right next to me.
Behind you. So Utiabe, she wins with Ushido So Chelsea comes in with this kind of like Uchimata, kind of like, I don't know if she went to full power, but Abe got her with this Ushido. So she just turned her over on her own back, got the Wazari for it, and that was good enough for the win. They went the full 4 minutes. Full 4 minutes. And that was win, which makes Abe now a 3-time world champion. All right. And 1-time Olympic champion, 3-time world champion. And it was last year. She did the 2-1. She won the world championships and the Olympic championships in 1 year. And then this year went the world championships again. So she's doing well. She's on my player of the year list right now. I want to see how she does at Masters. All right. And then, of course, if she's in the final, who's in the men's final? Her brother, of course. Yeah. I always want to call him Mifune, but it's Hifune.
Hifune. Abe. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Hifune Abe. And who is he going against in the finals, Anthony?
It was Maruyama, my favorite. Yeah. One of my favorites.
Your boy, Maruyama. And my boy Abe, again, fight till the end. And I'm just going to say this. Maruyama came out with like a different style. He wasn't slow or looking for the best ippon that he normally does. He was going out there, I think, to like prove to the world and prove to Japan that I'm the best. I should be number one. Okay. I should have gone to the Olympics. I'm the defending world champion. I'm going to go out here and prove it. And instead he came out, got a little sloppy, and got Tanya Toshi'd. And I felt so bad for him because he
lost the same exact way for the Olympic spot. That was the exact same way he got scored on.
And I don't know if it's just me, but Maruyama always looks to me like he's right about to cry. And I hope he doesn't hear this and comes after me or something.
No, I watched his interview after, and I actually posted him on Instagram. He was crying after, and
I was like, man, my heart goes out to this dude, man. I feel so bad for him.
But Hifumi Abe is looking thick. Like he's so much wider than last time I saw him fight Maruyama. So it must be hard.
He put on that muscle.
Yeah.
But now this makes him also a 3-time world champion as well. 3-time world champion. All right. Was there anything from day 2 you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think one person that was really overlooked is Denis Vieru from Moldova. He had an amazing run too. So make sure you watch his matches. But overall, I think these first few days, overall in the whole tournament, I want to say probably Hifumi Abe, Maruyama, and Tsunoda, and then Uta Abe. I think they had the most dominating performance throughout the whole tournament. Like, when I say dominating, I'm talking about throwing the crap out of everyone and submitting people versus like winning by Shidos and all that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. So that was day 2.
Shit, what happened?
I think it froze for a second. Yeah.
I think I did froze too. I was like,
yep.
No internet connection, unstable. Oh shit, is that me?
Yep, it's you. We were kind of talking over each other because it's lagging a little bit, but.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. I think I'm okay now.
Yep.
Hopefully. I should be back now. All right.
Yep.
So do you want to go into day 3 now?
I didn't write down days. I just wrote down matches that I really think stood out because there's so many matches and not all of them are, again, especially after the first 2 days, there's so many Shidos given out. It's not interesting to watch. So speaking of Shidos, so this is the weight category minus 57 kilograms, where I was really looking forward to Klim Kate fighting Krista Deguchi. And again, as most of you know, I'm not a fan of Klim Kate spamming drop knee. So one of the matches that stood out to me was Lian Chinling, the tall Taiwanese girl. She was fighting Klimkate, and you can see Klimkate was getting away with so many false attacks. Like she did so many false attacks where I'm just like, how does she not get a Shido for it? And one interesting thing that I noticed was Lian. It's widely known that the Taiwanese most likely trains with the Japanese because of the proximity of how close they are to Japan. And I just heard in the back, like, Lian, ganbare. Like people were like cheering for her in Japanese. So it's very likely that she trains with the Japanese national team too.
Your boy, the other Taiwanese guy, took bronze in a 66 kilo.
Yeah, so I forgot for himself. I forgot to mention that. Like, remember, he fought Takato in the Olympics and got silver, and I thought it wasn't fair, like the calls, because of the Shido calls were bullshit, I thought. And I'm glad I got to see this rematch, because I actually thought, even though he lost again, but I thought it was a legit loss this time. It wasn't shitty calls from the refs. So that was fun to watch. But Lian versus Klimkate, Klimkate won again, dropped on her knees so many times and getting away with the false attacks that Lian got Hansokumake for not attacking. And you can see her face is just like, what the hell? Like she was like, what?
Yeah, how is this fair?
Yeah.
How is this okay?
Yeah.
So in the women's finals of the 57 kilo division, it was Silva versus Funakubo. And one thing I will say about this match, this is one thing that you and I noticed then, is that there was a pin that Funakubo was going for. And when Silva laced her legs around her head, they called Toketa. Yep. And I remember having a question about that. It never was Toketa before because it wasn't considered full control.
Yeah. So is
that like a new rule change?
I don't know. When I saw it, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's still a pin. Like, so the pin we're talking about is Uragatame. So if you don't know what Uragatame is, go look it up. But basically, you think of like a backwards Yokoshio Gatame. Basically Yokoshio side control. Think about side control. Your chest is on the person, but Uragatame, your back is on the person. So, but Funa Kubo is really well known for her Newaza skills. So they actually named one of the turnovers that all the girls in the national team does is actually named after her. And her whole game, this whole tournament has been revolving around Obitori Gaeshi and Udegarami to turn people over. And she kept turning them. That's also what Uta Abe does a lot, by the way. But Funakubo, I think, does it at a different level, and she relies on it a lot more than her throws. So she would do that and then turn everyone over and then threaten the arm bar. And then if she doesn't get the arm bar, she goes into Yokoshio Gatame. I think she Yokoshio Gatame like 3 or 4 people this tournament. But yeah, so one of the pins she got someone in was her final against Rafaela Silva, who, by the way, got popped for, if you've just to remind it, because I hate cheaters, got popped for steroids. So this is like a few years ago, and she got her medals stripped away from her. But she's back in this tournament. Spoiler alert, she wins gold. But one of the things she did was she caught her.
Let me just explain what happened. So she did an Uchimata, she got Wazadi, and that was enough for her to win a match.
Yep. It was golden score, I think.
She won by Wazadi.
So she pinned her.
I think it was
So she pinned her with Uragatame, and then the Rafael de Silva being so long and tall, she was able to kick her leg up around her head, around Funakubo's head, and then they call Toketa. I'm like, what the? That's not Toketa. Imagine someone gets you in Kesagatame and they don't put their head down, so you kick your leg up over them and just put your legs there. That's not Toketa. You're still being pinned. So that's something I'm going to have to ask the referee next time we have a referee clinic, because that doesn't make sense to me. That's because if that's the case, there's a turnover I really like to do. That's a crucifix. But Filippo always tells me, you're being pinned right now, right? And that's why I stopped doing it. But if that's allowed, then if like someone kicks their head over and it's Toketa, then I'm still going to do it. So,
So yeah, Funakoba took silver this, but the good thing for her is that she was part of that team tournament. So she took a silver and a gold at this tournament. All right. And she was on the team tournament, not the Olympic team tournament, but the last year's world team tournament. So she's a 2-time team gold medalist, which I thought was a little interesting thing, like I wish she won the match, but hey.
Yeah. Happens. So also in this weight class, like we talked about Krista Taguchi, she lost to the Mongolian, and the Mongolian was drop spamming Tomoe Nage and Sumi Gaeshi, but they were like really bad attempts. I don't know if you want to talk about. And they did get her off balance.
It is what it is.
Yeah, they did get her off balance, but it would be like if I just pulled guard on you over and over. It literally looked like pulling guard. So you know how when you pull guard properly, the other guy steps forward a little bit, right? So she basically just spanned that, and Krista Taguchi got Shido'd out. So that's what I really don't like about these kind of rules, but it is, like you said, it is what it is. One other thing is Sazik is in this weight category. Also Dari Beloded. So this weight class is pretty stacked, right? Dari Beloded lost to Rafaela Silva because she was holding the same side. So she was holding the same side, and it was before she attacked. They give her like a defensive posture Shido, and she lost. So that was interesting. And then also she lost to the Mongolian that her name is Latvatugu, that beat Krista. And she ultimately lost because of that terrible Wazari call that we talked about. If you follow me on Instagram, I showed it again. Like, like I said, to mention the camera work. This is one of those instances where you fall on the front shoulder, and it was clearly not a score, but they called it a Wazari. And yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So that was like one of the worst calls I've seen in the whole tournament. And
so in the men's division is there something else you want to talk about?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So in the men's division at 73 kilos, we had a Mongolian man that I'm not going to try to say his name again because I'm terrible with these Mongolian names. Anthony, do you know his name?
No, I don't remember.
All right. But he fought Hashimoto. Okay. Yep. And Hashimoto, like I always feel bad for Hashimoto. I don't know why I like Hashimoto.
If you look at if you look at Hashimoto's bracket, he had a tough bracket. He had a really tough bracket. So they go into golden score. The Mongolian won by what's around Ochigari. It was Ochigari. It was a nice Ochigari. So,
yeah. I remember he came in, so it's in golden score. Comes in with Ochigari, boom. Was it Wazari or Ippon? I didn't write that down. I think it was Ippon because I didn't write it down. Whatever, it was in golden score. He wins. Hashimoto takes silver. Mongolian player, first time world champion. I wrote down a little note that the Olympics last year, he came in bronze. He got bronze at the Olympics. So it's good for him. Get a bronze, world championships next year. Fantastic for him.
One thing I forgot to mention, back to the Sazik versus Dari Beloded. One thing I noticed was they called a Shido on Sazik or something for repetitivity, but you know when you grab someone behind the neck like that, and then how is it a Shido if someone moves you're not allowed to duck under, but if the other person ducks under for you, like, I don't know. I don't know why that is considered a duck under, but
you have to fight for them to stay on that good side.
So I'm going to try that out. I'm just grab someone behind the neck in the middle and then like swing my arm over and say, you ducked under me and didn't attack, Shido. Like,
all right, so day 4, we had women 63 kilos. And guess what? It's a Japanese woman in the finals again. It's Haruka versus the Canadian Penard. So Haruka wins with Ippon Uchimata. Oh, yeah, she got this beautiful. I remember that now. It's like this really nice Uchimata Ippon she got onto her. And this makes Haruka's first world championships. And she was one of the players that was also on the team. So she came back with 2 gold. She got gold in team tournament, and then she got gold in her individual tournament. So that's really good for her. So that was the women's division. Was there anything about the women's day that you want to talk about since you got to watch it?
Like I said, I overall just stopped watching after this tournament. I just looked at highlights, and then from the highlights that I saw, I went back and watched some of the stuff. I just focused on the terrible calls, which kind of reinforced the idea that I shouldn't have watched it. So I'm glad I stopped watching it.
Well, we have to, because all these people know. So in the men's division, 81 kilos, the thing that I'm thinking about cutting down to for winter nationals, I ain't gonna actually do it. I thought maybe. No, I'm not. No, maybe. No. All right. So 81 kilos. This one we had the Georgian, God, how do you, Tato? Do you know how to say his last name?
No, yeah, I don't know.
Gradashvili. That how you pronounce it correctly? Gradashvili.
They're all something Dashvili. So
Dashvili.
Yep.
And he was fighting the Belgian player, Cassie.
Matthias Cass. Yeah, defending world champion.
How do you say his name?
It's Cass, defending world champion.
Yeah, I was wondering because of an E at the end. So Cassie, is there Y? Should Cassie?
I think it's just Cass. It's nothing that's silent.
All right, fine then. All right, but so Gurashvili, he wins. It goes into overtime. This is one of the longest matches of day two. This one I wrote down because I was like surprised how long it went. So you got 4 minutes of regular score. Then they went to 4 minutes, like seriously, right at 4 minutes of golden score. So if they're fighting for 8 minutes straight. I hear people talk about, I do 5 minutes of MMA. This is 8 minutes of grappling. All right. 8 minutes of stand-up judo grappling. This is crazy to me. Okay. But he won with what was the move it was? It was Kochigari. No, was it? Yeah. Kochi. What did he go into? No, it was just that. Was it just that? No, it wasn't. Where did I write it down at? Why are my notes so messy? Oh, it's Koshiguruma. That's what it was. There it is. I always get messed with my notes. That's Koshiguruma. He got the Wazari with it at 4 minutes. I was so amazed by the time. 8 minutes. That's nuts. Did you get you watched that match? What did you think about it?
I thought the match between him and what's his name? Fujiwara was amazing. Yeah. So Cass versus Fujiwara is a must watch. Like that whole match was amazing. Like Fujiwara was up by Wazari. I think if he played smarter, he would have won, but he got countered once he was attempting a Uranage. The guy just controlled it, so he landed on his back and he was lost by Ippon. So the whole fight was amazing. Got to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Then we go to day 5. Day 5 was the women's I'm going to say 170, the women's 70 kilo division. And that was Croatian versus Croatian. Mm-hmm. And it was, do you know their names? I guess I didn't write down the names. I just wrote down the defending world champion, the Olympic medalist, you mean?
Yeah. Krapike or something? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happened is that it was an Uchimata into Newaza into an armbar, and Krupit, I think she was the one that tapped. Was it her the one that tapped? Because it was Matane, I can't remember what her name was and stuff. Because I just wrote down Croatian versus Croatian. Because remember, I didn't get to watch the whole show. I got to watch it in highlights. I had to piece it together and stitch it together. In the men's division at 90 kilos. Now, this is where it was an interesting one because I can't remember if it was this match or was it, I can't remember if it was this one or it was the 70, or was it the 70 something? No, because it wasn't the Geo. Well, whatever. So the next match was men's 90 kilo division. This one, Uzbekistan finally had one of their people in the finals. So
yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about it in the end.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit because we both. Yeah, so Uzbekistan versus Italy. The Uzbekistan player was Davat versus Christian, and so this one was a Shido match. So the Uzbekistan player won by Shido. It was in time. They didn't go overtime. He just won by Shidos. Was this the guy that kept on doing the throws on top of his head?
Yeah, Turaboyev. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
go ahead, say what you want to say.
Okay. So if you look at the one of the previous matches in previous day, the defending Olympic champion, I think it was Bakari versus Bobanov. Bakari did no, Bobanov did a head dive, I think. Yeah, in the semifinal, and it was not called. Or it was the other way around. Basically, the Uzbekistan people had the home field advantage because when they did head dives, it was not called a head dive. And they did a whole video replay thing, and they were like, "Oh, it's not a head dive. I don't know what you guys are talking about." But then when they fight against someone else and they did a head dive, they would make sure to call it. So that's home field advantage, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah. Well, there was one thing because even I think it was Neil Adams that said it because during the one highlight video I saw, you could hear Neil Adams in the background saying that he's going to get called on that sooner or later if he keeps on doing it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, another country he might.
It's not even just the head dive. They also gave the Wazari too. Like it was like, oh, that's a score. So
yeah. So you never want to see a gold medal match end in Shidos, but this one did. So I really don't care about it. Like I feel bad for the Italian guy, but hey, yeah, it is what it is.
I remember now. It was Bakari head dive. Bakari versus Bobanov. He got disqualified for a head dive. Bobanov is Uzbekistan. Okay, so he won by the guy getting disqualified, and then Lipertiliani fought Turboboyev, which is from Uzbekistan, and head dive like at least twice. He head dive at least twice, and there was no Hansokamaka given, and they even gave him a Wazari for the head dive. So I think Lipertiliani got screwed over. I think this guy, who ultimately became the world champion, by the way, from this tournament, is going to have a huge asterisk on the world championship in my mind. Kind of like how Darius Belodid's second world championship, I think, has an asterisk on it too. So.
All right. So then the next day 6, we go into the women's minus 78 kilos because after that, it's a plus 78 kilos. So the minus 78 kilos with the Brazilian versus the Chinese girl. And the Brazilian girl won was it Myre? She won.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the Chinese girl was May. How do you say your name?
I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't watch all the matches.
Yeah. But it was what did I write down? Tanya. Yeah, it was Tanya Toshi. It was Tanya Toshi for Wazadi, and she won in that time. So good for her. She becomes now a 3-time women's champion, world champion. Did she fight in another weight class before? Because I don't remember her.
I don't remember.
It was a long time ago.
There's a lot of shifting around going on.
Yeah. Then we have the men's division, which was the minus 100 kilo division, the big boys. And again, we have another Uzbekistan player versus a Canadian player, Reyes, which I liked Reyes. The entire day he was fighting, I liked the way he was fighting and stuff. So
if you watch him in other tournaments, he's really, really good too. Like he has, I like his judo. His judo style is really nice.
Yeah. So he lost to Uzbekistan player in golden score by Kochigari. And, whether it was Wazadi or Ippol and Kochigari got him down, he got the win. But he fought all the way to the end. And he also trains in Japan as well. He trains at the same school the Japanese player does. I was thinking about the other day, actually.
There's multiple schools, so I don't know which school you're talking about. Yes, I know
there's multiple schools. All right, giving me shit here, mother. All right, so I like Reyes. But yeah, he got silver. Good for him. And Uzbekistan takes their second gold medal. So they hosted the tournament and they got 2 gold medals out of it. So good for them. One of them we're a little shifty on, but hey, it is what it is. All right. And at least he got a score for it as long as in golden score. Then we go into the women's plus 78 kilo division. Okay. It was the French team, Romani versus the Brazilian girl, Souza. And so the French girl, she gets her down with like, was it Koshimaki Gomi? It's Koshimaki Gomi, holds her down for the pin for Ushido Gesakatame. She got Ippon because she didn't get anything with the throw, I remember. And I thought it was kind of weird because I thought it was Wazadi when I watched it. But she gets her Ushido Gesakatame and she got the full pin on her. So that was a good match. It just saw her take her down and she landed on her hold. I was like, oh, she's done. She got you in that good pin right there. It's done. It's over. There ain't no coming back from that. The men's division, plus 100 kilos. We had a Cuban player and Andre or Andy, how you want to say it, versus a
Granda, I think.
Granda, that how you say his name? Grande. Well, yeah, his name's Grande, which is always funny when I say his name's Grande. It's like, El Grande. I know it's gonna be terrible. People hear this, but he fought the Japanese player Saito.
So he's the son of the legendary Hitoshi Saito. So
yeah. And they kept on showing pictures. Was it his mom that was there holding the picture of his dad?
His mom. Yep.
Yeah, which is funny because of all the pictures that she could have. That sounds terrible now because I'm criticizing this. Of all the pictures she could have picked, it's just like a normal like weekend photo of him, like nothing fancy. Like I was really be a whole like a judo photo of him and his gi and stuff, or a dojo photo. No, it's like something like him, just like, hey, what's going on? It's just a simple photo, but hey, sentimental value maybe. All right. And Saito had a great tournament too, because I believe this is his first time going to World Championships, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. So if you watch, he got Shidoed out in the finals. I thought it was questionable, to be honest, but
well, it was okay. So it was Shidoed out, but it was Shidoed out in Golden Squarely. So these are big boys going past 4 minutes. All right.
Yeah. So, but if you look at his throws in all the previous matches, it was freaking amazing. Like you don't see heavyweights doing throws like that often. So it was pretty fun to watch for a heavyweight fight. Because that was one of the fights where I watched the whole fight. So.
And that's something to look out for. See how he does later, you know, first international or first world championships. And he's already taking silver. Let's see, man. Maybe next time we take gold, maybe at France he's taking gold. Who knows? The one thing that I would like to say, and this is about the women's heavyweight division. So in one of the women's match, it was the bronze medal match, and it was the Israeli girl versus the French. Was another French girl was in the bronze medal match, whatever. But it was a bronze medal match, and it was this Israeli girl, and she's tired. They're doing the wads, and she's tired. Her hair comes undone, and the highlight video I could see. So she stops and she starts doing her hair, and then they cut to the crowd, and the crowd's all going like, oh no, oh, and they're all doing the hair symbol thing, the hair pulling thing on the side. So just to let people know, or the rule's still like pretty new, so it's a little maybe fuzzy to most people. From what I remember the rule, or the way they explained it, the first time you redo your hair is okay. You get one hair fix. If you get told by the ref to fix your hair again, it's a Shido. So I don't know if she decided to fix her hair on her own. So
right before we recorded, I went back and watched the whole match, and she fixed her hair. They gave her 2 shots at fix. She was fixing her hair at least 4 or 5 times, but she at least
really
she was fixing it at least 4 or 5 times, but she untied it at least twice. So they gave her an extra one. You're only supposed to get one. So the time that she got disqualified at another Shido, which was the third Shido for it. That was the third time she untied it already. So,
So this is a very interesting match. So she lost the bronze medal match. She lost the bronze medal match for 3 Shidos. It's because the last time she was getting up, she took her hair down, and it was Neil Adams or the other guy was saying that she's taking too long or something. That they're saying she took that got Shido because she's taking too long. Either way, I was just like, well, she was doing her hair. I don't know if it's multiple times already, but if this is the Shido one, it's a Shido one. But when she got that Shido, like fix your gi, do that. She took all the time fixing her hair, going forward, going back, getting some life into it, putting some what do they call it, body in your hair and stuff. And they give her the Shido, and they do that ponytail thing. They give her the Shido. She's like, what? I'm just like, what do you mean what? You know the rules.
They gave her an extra time too. Like I said, she got a freebie. So yeah.
So she lost that match, but I will say this, she was part of the Israeli team. So she did take bronze in the team tournament. So good for her that way. Hopefully you learned how to fix her hair, but they're not playing with that hair thing. Like, well, this is the first time I've actually seen someone get Shidoed with it, but you know, they're not, I guess maybe they're not playing more or less now.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the 2022 World Championships.
There are some stuff I want to point out that people, if they're watching it, they should pay attention to that I thought were, like I said, shitty calls. So as you all know, we talked about Tsunoda already, but in the same weight class, Tonaki Funa, which I call Tuna, I like to call her Tuna, but Tonaki Funa, she got disqualified. I wanted to see her fight for gold against Tsunoda, but she got disqualified for an armbar throw, wakigatame. And it was kind of an accident.
That was BS.
I mean, if you had to call it strictly, I was like, okay, that I can see why you would Hansoku Make for that. But it was.
But I saw worse in a day. I saw some of the worst.
So I was going to point out, if you thought that was, if you're going to call Hansoku Make on that, you need to look at Lee Junhwan from Korea versus Sagi Muki from Israel at minus 81 kilograms. Sagi Muki did an arm lock throw. He straight up definitely hyperextended the other guy's arm, and no Hansoku Make. So I don't know how he got away with it, but then because they did a video replay too, and why Funa Tsunaki just got disqualified. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, another highlight really of to watch: Hamada Shori, defending Olympic champion, got thrown by a Brazilian 18-year-old kid for beautiful Hizaguruma. You don't see Hizagurumas often, and it's usually Sasai. This is a big Hizaguruma. So if you want to see Hizaguruma in action, then look at this one. Another thing, we talked about a hair tie thing, and then Chochi from Belarus. I forgot which fight it was, but he got like 2 Shidos in the span of 10 seconds. Like he got a passivity Shido, and then so the new rules say you can break grips as long as you grip right away, right? So he broke the grip and he was about to grip back, and the referee was like, "Mate, Shido for grip break." And then he was like, "What the hell?" Like it's been like, so I thought it was kind of bullshit how he lost. So overall, I'm glad I didn't. I would be pretty upset if I stayed up all night watching this kind of stuff. So.
What I used to do when I did earlier is that I just watch the medal matches because I know I don't want to get upset. I'm going to see the highlights later. Other people are going to post them on Instagram or YouTube and stuff. I can see what's going to happen crazy. What my thing is, I want to see what the gold medal matches happen, what happened there. And I hate when a gold medal match goes to Shidos, when they Shido someone out. But luckily, there's only, 2 matches got decided by Shidos.
Yep.
All of them got Ippons or Wazadi. So it was a pretty good tournament, in my opinion. And Japan did really well. Not came back, but they come out with a fury after just hosting the World Championships and getting that rematch with France in the team tournament and winning this time. You're like, yeah, we got to honor back now. Yeah, see you in France.
Yeah, I think the bias towards for Uzbekistan was really obvious this tournament because of the head dives. And there's the huge guy was like his whole style just revolved around head diving. Also, I think it was Klimkate's match where she lost, got disqualified. You can tell the ref was like, "Wait, Hansoku Make for her? Are you sure? Really? Like defending world champion? Really? Are you, oh, okay, you sure? Like, and like, okay." It's just like you can tell she was like pointing at her, like, "Are you sure?"
Pointing her ear, pointing at the person. Are you? Yeah, no, yeah. You're sure not the other one. This one, right? Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I that just kind of kills the fun out of it for me. And then I forget about it and I go watch the next tournament a few months from now. So that's the cycle of how I watch Judo.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this up because we're going to start our live stream in just a few moments. So if you guys have anything you want us to look at, go over, talk about, or make videos, please let us know. You can hit us up at Facebook. You can hit us at Instagram. No, we don't have Facebook. You can hit us at Instagram at Tatami Talk. You can hit us on YouTube at Tatami Talk. If you want to follow me, you follow me at @Jerry_Juan. You can follow Anthony at Anthony Throws. You want to send us anything you guys look at again, you remember, you always hit us up at TatamiTalk@gmail.com. So Anthony, is there anything before we go do this live stream?
I need to go pee before we do the live stream. So let's do this.
All right. So everybody out there, don't forget to
slap the mat.